equally useless tidbit. When did U.S. advertisers first use sex to market their products? You're going to be surprised.
I would say 1925. And let's see how close I am. Yeah, only 75 years off. In the 1850s. And that is the question we're going to talk about. And here's a perfect piece of music to talk about it.
Come on.
Let's talk about sex today.
Does sex sell? That's the question, Daria.
And some advertisers say, not always.
Really, huh?
Believe it or not, these experts claim that ads with sexually explicit content just aren't getting through to today's savvy youth market. Susan Lesovich has more. Take a look.
Walk down the street in New York Times Square and you're hit with a multitude of sexually explicit ads. Everything from sneakers to weight loss. According to trend experts, the tide is turning big time. And those in the know say the way to reach young, savvy consumers is to be more suggestive and playful and less explicit. Not convinced? Global trend expert Allison O'Keefe-Wright studies the views of leading-edge consumers.
When sexual imagery has reached that point of mainstream, it just doesn't break through in the same way. So, you know, a few years back, if a youth-oriented brand wanted to present itself as anti-mainstream or somewhat illicit, they might, you know, slap sexual imagery on there and use that as sort of a cue to young consumers that it was meant for them.
O'Keefe-Wright says that in the cluttered marketplace of sexual imagery, that approach simply isn't working anymore.
We have porn stars that have, like Jenna Jameson has, you know, a 3-story billboard in Times Square. And she just sort of stands there as a regular celebrity that people recognize. Because young consumers are so savvy, they appreciate it when brands are willing to sort of be more relaxed, when they're not screaming in their face, shouting, you know, that they're cool, or shouting, you know, that they're fun, or whatever it is, and use more suggestive, laid-back cues.
Coinciding with the less-in-your-face approach is this season's fashion trend.
Sort of a return to a 50s mentality. And in a way, this can be a lot more alluring from, you know, a sexuality standpoint, because if something's just slightly peeking through, that can be a lot more alluring than letting it all hang out.
Experts say it's all part of a nostalgia for simpler times. Similarly, other trends like cartoon logos on T-shirts, board games, and even toys have captured the imagination of leading-edge consumers in their 20s and 30s in major cities like New York, London, and Tokyo. But O'Keefe-Wright is careful not to confuse the move towards play and playfulness with a return to wholesomeness.
If you look at the movies they watch, the television shows they watch, the video games they play, sex is such a regular part of their life on a daily basis that the brands that are using sex just really not quite breaking through.
Peter Roche, a creative director in New York City, agrees with one caveat.
Sex still sells in certain scenarios. I mean, if you have a magazine, a consumer doesn't see a magazine as, you know, as a product being advertised towards them. They see it as a piece of communication, a piece of entertainment. So if you stick something overtly sexual or some imagery of the latest, like Pop-Tart wearing barely anything on the cover of a magazine, it's going to sell more magazines. But if you do the same thing with, say, a deodorant or, you know, toothpaste, I don't think you're going to have the same effect. But there's a bit of a backlash, you know, against just sticking a product's name at the end of a commercial that's just overtly sexual.
Sometimes a little suggestion goes a long way. Susan Lesovich, CNN, New York.
Tonight's Ad of the Week is a serious geological documentary about what goes on beneath the Earth's surface.
Oh, you load 16 tons, what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store.
Imagine if a 250-year supply of energy were right here at home. Now, thanks to emissions-reducing technology from GE Energy, harnessing the power of coal is looking more beautiful every day.
Now, before we go on, let's pause briefly and consider the glorious insanity of the word eco-imagination. Now, beyond that, it would be hard to find a product less connected to sex than coal. Bridget, why would have GE used that approach here?
They're using sweaty boobs and bottoms to try and distract you from the fact that coal remains the dirtiest fossil fuel around. And I don't mean dirty in a good way. The only way you can use sex effectively to sell is if it has some relevance to the product. But also, you don't remember anything. It's just like blah, blah, boobs, blah-de-blah, blah, muscles.
Yeah. It's good to know what's going on in your mind, Bridget.
You'll look younger, smaller, lighter, fuller, tighter, thinner, softer. It really works.